So welcome to bexbugoutsurvivor, and today we're going to be looking at HammockGear top quilt, under quilt. I've got the Burrow top quilt 0 degree and the 0 degree incubator. There's been a lot of questions what my personal kit is when I'm not filming YouTube, and this is it. This is the economy set, the econ, and it's what I could afford. So HammockGear will make you different quilts according to your budget. Although these are economy quilts, they're by no means cheap, especially after adding on the import charges from the customs. Best part of £100 to get them from States to the UK. Now these are rated to 0 degrees Fahrenheit, which in old money converts down to something like -17 Celsius, and that's where it's going to stop to bottom out. However, not only will you get down to these lower temperatures, but they'll also work above, so maybe I can use these throughout the whole year. I've just bought my trusty little parachute nylon hammock, which I'm going to put up now. The underquilt and top quilt, very basic if you've seen them before, but I'll run through it all with you. So I bought a couple of lightweight 5kN beaners by Thermarest. Okay, I'm going to make a start. Now the quilts themselves, not cheap. I think in total somewhere around $500 US, which equates to around what, 350, 360 quid for both sets. Remember, there was £100 customs. It's better. Okay, I'm going to start with the underquilt. Again, rated 0 degrees Fahrenheit. Again, that translates to -17 Celsius. So this is the 0 degree incubator. I have these here, little S beaners. I broke the little spring clip on that. Colour coded beaners indicate head and foot. It's just a case of me remembering which is which, and I've just hooked one over there and pull it out and put the other one on. Flat as a pancake at the moment. I'm just going to give it some loft. It's been transported for just a couple of hours. Shake it all through so we can see the loft later on. Choice of colours. This is the one I've gone for. Dark olive green, and you can choose the inner as well. I've just gone for a black. It's starting to loft up a bit now. And the colour on the actual top quilt, I've gone black on the outside and a grey on the inside. I do like natural colours when I'm out, so this should be a nice little setup for the cooler months of the year. But for me, there's nothing stopping me bringing this out most of the year. I've had the summer 20 degree incubator and I was so impressed with it, I've upscaled to HammockGear here, which is the 0 degree here. Just going to carry on lofting it. I'm going to get in this and we're going to have a look then at the top quilt. It has a foot box. Comes around the back of your neck on a snap. On the front, a drawer toddle comes over your shoulders. It's not a sleeping bag, but without the back to it. So this is the incubator, which is full length. They do a 3/4 length, which I think is called the Phoenix, range of different temperatures: 40 degrees, 30 degrees, 20 degrees, 10 degrees and 0, which I've gone for here. And this is the incubator, full length, I think about 6'5", something like that. It accommodates a really tall person. I'm only a short horse, so. There's a head and foot end. Where the label is the head end. And that's because of the cut of the material. It steps up at the legs and gives a more superior warmth. The top quilt, as we discussed, is 0 degree also. Now I'm carrying the whole lot: top, couple of hammocks, top quilt, under quilt, in 65 litres. And this is the colour match here. The black top quilt with a couple of snap buttons here. Well, one snap button, like that. And the draw toddle to cinch up around the neck, and the wind is picking up now. Now, it's not a cheap bit of kit, this top quilt or the under quilt. For me, I'm not going to tolerate inferior insulation. You can get insulation for hammocks for as little as 20-30 quid, and I've tried it. 20% of the population are cold sleepers, meaning there's an 80% of the populace are lucky. I'm one of the 20. Top quilt, foot box now. I can get my feet right into here, and here's the end where my feet would go. It's really pretty simple, and all there is to it. Toasty wall. I'm down here. You can hardly see me for all the loft. So much loft on this top quilt, and it lofts up almost instantly. It does need a little bit of adjustment at the foot end, the under quilt. Not too bad on the shoulders here, you can see starting to loft. So the adjustment is quite easy. This is the channel line shock cord, comes out here just to stop it sitting on the dirt, and I can also adjust it just by pulling or loosening on this gadget here. I pull back with my thumb and bring it up. You can see it's lifted it up quite well there. It's missing some loft here. I'm going to just pad some feathers into it, shake it up. Over time it'll lose feathers, so I've ordered overfill, and I think I ordered 2 ounces of overfill at £7 UK per ounce. Whatever feathers I'm going to lose, it's not going to be too many. It's so expensive this that I do want it to last for years. It's a real treat for me, and this is how my retirement is going to be spent. So when I transported all this into this woodland here, I put it in stuff sacks in pack, what people do. I personally like to loose fill. I found packing the goose down into a pack, there were dead air pockets all the way around the stuff sacks. And you notice the hammock's going in as well. It's only for short-term transportation. It's not ideal to keep goose down in its compression sack, certainly for no more than 24 hours. So I need to compress the air from it. So it's like an air pad but full of feathers, and I just need to compress the air from it. That's compact a lot better, hell of a lot better. What used to take up nearly a whole volume of the pack is now down here, That saved a hell of a lot of room. So I didn't have time to hook it up to the UK hammock. Also didn't have time to put the tarp up. And my tarp sits on top of the pack. This is a very easy setup. I came out here actually to put my modifications in, and it's going dark and it started raining. And we're down, it's a lot lighter than synthetics, a hell of a lot lighter. I may even marry that system up with a down jacket and down ski trousers as well. Better rescue my tree suspension before I forget. From what I've seen of it so far, back at base camp on my hammock frame, I knew I wanted to do my modifications on the channel lines. I did it on my summer quilt as well. Allows it to sit higher up rather than trying to get the lift by stretching it out. I just prefer it. It's not a necessity, no requirement to do it. I've tried it, as you saw, just putting it higher up the whoopee. Wasn't bad, but I have bought some extra shock cord with me and some extra cinch toddles, and when I get home I will put the modifications on, but I thought I would show you the stock standard. And also there was a lot of shipping. HM customs and revenue. I don't like them. Now, to get it out of the US into the UK, had to pay the customs import charge, 86 quid or something like that. And then they said if you want it delivering to your door, obviously I do, there's an additional charge if I wanted it 24 hours later, the following day. For me that would have been a Saturday, and I thought, well, I've waited for it for so long, I don't really need a Saturday delivery. And when I went online, there was nowhere on the screen I could unclick the next day delivery. An extra 12 quid in total just getting this to the UK, 100 quid. On top of, I think it was about 360 I paid for top and bottom insulation. But a load of people have been requesting what kind of kit I take out when I'm not filming YouTube, and I take out my goose down. Tomorrow morning I'll put the modifications in I wanted to do. Now I may even take that kit out and film it, I don't know yet. So that's top quilt and bottom quilt in there. I've got the tarp under the hood there. Jet boil would fit in there, a treat. Some rations and things like that. Spare clothing would be in the dry sack. Don't know if I can decrease the literage of that. Don't think I'd want to. 65 litres is suiting me just fine. Shame I'm not taking it out tonight. I haven't made the modifications or bought a stove with me or anything, but a little impromptu night camp would have been nice. Okay, thanks for joining me. That has been the US top and bottom quilt from a company called HammockGear in the USA.